All right. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Lead in. Just make sure everybody's up to date on current events. Nothing to do with the video. Just make sure everybody's keeping in touch. Hey, so going back to old school YouTube, the way it should be. I like it. Doing VRs. I remember back in the old days, that was like the primary thing we did around here was did VRs and back and forth videos back and forth to each other. Then YouTube didn't like that. They had a period of time where they would basically ban your video and they banned the use of the term VR and stuff like that. But I guess we're sliding them back in there on them, which is good, which I like to see. It's really the most beneficial learning point you can get going around here. YouTube is sharing the different ideas and comments and stuff via VR and stuff, spreading the knowledge out and just discussing things, right? But Delaware Patriot tagged me in a video, which he was tagged by Rob Painless in a video, who was tagged by Papa Texas, who I didn't know who that was. So I went and checked out his channel, and there's a 10-question VR having to do with what's going on during the quarantine. It's a 10-question challenge focusing on what's about the quarantine, lockdown, the whole deal that's going on, right? Which I haven't focused on. It's the least of our problems, unfortunately. But you just got 10 random questions here to discuss and go over, and I'm going to go through them, try to get it done quick, and pass this on to some unsuspecting characters. I'm not sure if I can meet this total standard, but we'll see. But his first question, how many rolls of toilet paper do you have? Which we've been keeping up to date on in our videos. I updated that, last 2 weeks ago? Haven't bought any toilet paper since December. But just to prove I could do it, I bought some Saturday. Went to the grocer and they had some, picked them up, Kleenex, just to add on top. Because we've used some, obviously. And just put it on top of the stack there. What was that, a 12-pack or whatever? What had they? It was like a 12 or a 16-pack. I can't remember. But, we're in the, 75 rolls range. If we talk about how many, I got rolls stored away in food storage as well. So that's not the emergency stash. That's just like our normal stash. But we're doing fine, and we've had no issues, even though the store's been out of toilet paper around here. Until I went this Saturday, I hadn't seen toilet paper in a store since February. But I don't go to the store a whole lot either. But just using social media reports and other people, birds getting back in my ear about the toilet paper situation, right? But what's been my biggest change since lockdown? Well, I've not been locked down. I've just been working more, which is what it is. It's just a little different than most people. We've talked about it a little bit on here. Out and about, driving the highways and byways a lot, and just been out and just working. It's springtime, got to get all that spring stuff done and doing the regular job and stuff. So I haven't had a whole lot of changes for myself. There's been some tweaks in the family. It hasn't been drastic because we homeschool, and about the only thing that's affected anybody is there's not been as many extracurricular activities, which we actually pulled the kids out of extracurriculars before the lockdown ever happened, just because of our own common sense, just going, hey, let's see how this develops. It wasn't worth the risk, and just evaluate. But what are you most grateful for is the third question. I'd say the family, most for sure, and just thankful that and grateful that they've handled it well and been flexible in dealing with everything that's coming down. Kids are really resilient, but sometimes it's hard to feel out how they're thinking, but they seem to have been handling things real well, staying busy, doing their own thing. In some respects, trying to learn more than usual with the schooling and stuff. So there's different ways they can focus and get their energies out that they couldn't before. So they're not really harping on the fact they can't see their friends as much or at all to a certain degree. But the family's resilience in the whole thing. What have we gone without lately? Not a whole lot. We haven't went out to eat as much. We've kind of gotten a routine, it seems like, the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we ate out every now and then, depending on what was going on with busy schedules and stuff. And we just kind of got into eating at home a lot more. And we order Chinese once a week just to support the Chinese restaurant, because you never know how they're getting treated, right? With all this, that was kind of just one thing we did. But going without, I've went without some sleep. There was a period there where I didn't sleep in my own bed for more than 2 or 3 days in a row. There was a period of time like that back in February, especially, really busy. But lately, I really can't say I've gone without anything. Nothing. Sleep. That's about it. What are you most grateful for? Twice must be a mistake. So this is what I see. What Rob Painless was wondering what the 10 questions were, and everybody else was like, "Well, he asked the same question twice." I don't know. I guess he's just thinking we're definitely more grateful than what we put on for. But something else to be grateful for is that the rest of the family back in the hills is doing fine. The mom and dad and everybody's doing fine. I'm grateful for that. That they've got good networks and are doing fine back in the old North State there. I'm grateful for that. What am I missing the most? Well, I've not gone without anything. What am I missing? I missed March Madness. I didn't really notice I missed it because I was so busy. It would have been cool to be able to just relax, I guess. But I'm not missing a whole lot. I'm missing some range time, which is not the fault of anything. I could go do range time regardless if I just sat down and got my mind to it and went out and did some range time. But that was before the lockdown. So I don't know that I'm missing anything necessarily in particular. And when was the last time you were at a campsite? Wow, it's been a long time. And I don't know what this has to do with lockdown. But I know a lot of places are closing off parks and stuff, but it's been way too long, like years, and that's irrelevant to lockdown. That's not even effective by it. What is my favorite quarantine food? Whatever my daughters are cooking. My daughters have definitely picked up their game and cooked. They're cooking 3 or 4 meals a week of their own volition and just trying to be creative. The youngest made Indian tacos last week, which I found was interesting. She was just looking it up. Actually, that was one of their history topics, was India, and she made Indian tacos, the regular Indians, not the Native American Indians, right? That was so. Whatever they're making, really, is I'm happy with. I'm getting fed. I can't complain. But those are really good. That was interesting. We never had that before. Garbanzo beans or chickpeas, whatever you want to call them, and seasoning there and everything. That was really good. Like that. How are you exercising or working out was question number 9, and I am failing drastically at that. I'm not saying I'm getting anything accomplished other than stacking hay and sitting in the garden and tilling the garden and stuff is about the only workout I'm getting, which is not much at all. So nothing extracurricular, you would say, which is unfortunate, and I am ashamed of that. But that's question 9. And then question 10, who are you choosing to pick to challenge pick 5 channels, which I will leave till the end. He has a bonus question, which I guess is technically question. It's like 11 questions. Don't know why I did it this way. He seems to be an interesting channel. I had never heard of Papa Texas until I saw Rob's VR, and then I had to go check it out and find out a little bit more. He seems like an interesting character. We'll have to check out more often. He's in the same network of all the other channels I watch. Home of the Sticks was tagged. He tagged them. He tagged Carolina Chris Outdoors. A bunch of other channels I watch. I'd just never seen his channel. Tells you how expansive the YouTube community is. It's pretty awesome stuff. But I'm going to leave my 5 channels for the end here. And I don't know if I'm even going to get 5 channels because everybody that I'm really tight with has kind of disappeared. What has been or will be your pandemic panic purchase? And I have beaten to death in my previous videos. Do not panic. Do not operate in fear during this whole thing. So there will be no panic purchasing. That's for number 1. We haven't identified really much gaps as far as the pandemic specific stuff. We'll probably restock some stuff. Hand sanitizers are getting really thin, so if we ever find that on the shelves, we'll probably buy a little more than the normal if we can find a case of it, because we're getting pretty low on our stock. It's low. Let's put it that way. I got a little bit in each vehicle, a couple of things here at home, and a couple of hand carry types, and that's about, I think there's only 2 other things of hand sanitizer we've got squirreled back, so it's that's a little too close for comfort on the hand sanitizer front, but I wouldn't call it a panic purchase, just kind of a restock. Everything else seems to have worked well and has been able to restock as needed. I don't need any of the big items. Everything else is just saving money. Silver, firearms are fine. Those things, the big things that everybody thinks about, I'm not going to panic and purchase. I'd like to have some look in the dark things. Would be cool to get if we could afford them and find a good deal, but seeing in the dark's not the biggest priority, but it would be kind of a good thing to have. If I had the money and the opportunity, that would be, I guess, what I would ear tag is in that question. So 5 questions, or five channels. That's the 10 questions from Papa Texas. But my 5 channels, I'm gonna tag, and there's so many people that have kind of dropped off the radar, but I'm gonna see if we can get some people tagged here that are still around, and maybe drag somebody back into the YouTube that's not. I'm going to tag 5150 the Bob, the greatest California exit channel ever. If you don't know Bob, he recently moved out of Cali. Him like Tony had perfect timing, got out of California right in time. He's in northern Arizona living it up. It'd be interesting what Bob has to say on this, because he is definitely living the off-grid life. It's awesome. And I'm interested to hear what his answers would be to these 10 questions based upon his changes, and now that he's moved into a new homestead and everything. Second, we'll tag Trebuchet Tony 702 or Tactical Tony 702 or whatever name he's coming up with now. He's moved into his new home place and he's getting situated about how these 10 questions kind of affected him. I know he's been camping recently. I know some of the answers to these already, but it'd be interesting to see his answer to these questions and how it's affecting him and whatnot. Even though he's talked about it in a lot of his videos, I haven't tagged Tony in years, so that's 2 channels. My 3rd channel, if he'll come out of the woodwork, will be Bikes and Bullets, but he hasn't done many. I think he went dark, but if he's still out there and if he sees this, it'd be interesting to see what his still in the urban jungle lifestyle is like and how it's affecting him, and what's going on. Just have him check in for a minute. 4th, let's tag Irish USMC vet, who's been doing all the morning chats and talking about gardening and all his getting everything situated, his homestead and all the farm life getting situated. Let's hear what he has to say. That'll be awesome to hear what he has going on with these 10 questions. And 5th will be, let's see, somebody that hasn't been talked about lately. Let's go with Bobby. I can't remember Bobby's official title. Bobby Solar Homestead. Yeah, he changed his name so many times. Bobby Solar Homestead. Maybe he's still out there. He does. I mean, he's been doing tons of videos being off grid with his solar setup, but it's interesting to hear his 10 answers to this question is too. That's kind of across the country. It'd be interesting to hear a lot of different perspectives with the Midwest, Southwest, West, different comments on how it's affected them. And some people are locked down, some people are usually at home anyway, so it's not really affecting them. It'd be interesting to hear all these different perspectives with these 10 questions. So thanks to Rob Painless for challenging Delaware Patriot from the Papa Texas 10 question challenge. Go check those channels out. I'll put all the links in the description box if I can get them all in there. This video has been way too long. I went longer than Papa Texas, unfortunately, in the original VR. But just throwing it out there, folks. Hey, this ain't nothing but a thing. The economic collapse is what you need to be worried about. As I'll continue to remind people about on the daily around here. So, you know what to do. Prep hard, live free.